Last year, Siege Camp was having their normal update stream, but they had one extra special announcement at the end.
And now that that's Voxel stuff's over, there is something else to talk about. So for those of you that have been with us for some time over the last couple of years, you know that Siege Camp has a separate team working on another project.
Anvil Empires has been in development for over a year, and today we are going to talk about everything they've added so far to the game. Right after the announcement, they opened up a Discord server and started the pre-alpha testing right away. If you didn't know already, Anvil Empires is the medieval version of Foxhole. Foxhole is a persistent World War I and World War II game. Anvil is heavily influenced to be similar to Foxhole, but will have its own unique mechanics as well. Phase 6 of the pre-alpha testing for Anvil Empires starts tomorrow, May 30th. Join the official Anvil Empires Discord to get an invite. The link will be in the description below. Anvil is targeted to support 1,000 players within a dense battle, and many more thousands across a large persistent online world. To meet these goals, Siege Camp will run an R2 engine which has recently been developed from the ground up over the last few years. The R2 engine is a custom server engine that supports up to 1,000 players in a dense environment and tens of thousands of players over the entire world. The different features and mechanics that have been developing around the world have come very rapidly. Over the past year, the devs have hosted a pre-alpha test almost every other week and a major test almost every other month. These days, we normally see games being tested through early access where players still need to purchase the game to participate. But with Anvil Empires, that is not the case. Anvil Empires is going through a process that's very different from how conventional games are made today. The devs are willing to experiment on the game as long as they need to. They are ready to test out new features with the chance of those systems failing down the road. Some of the developments that we talk about today may change completely or be removed when the final product is released. Let's get into everything that's been developed for the game so far. On April 28th, 2023, blacksmithing was the first role introduced by the devs. As the player, you would need to find resources, refine them, and then forge them to build your weapons. Before you could do any of that, you first needed to join a settlement. You could build your own house, or you could become roommates with another player in a house that was already established in the settlement. Once the basic foundation was set for things like hunting and cooking and mining, the devs started to focus on how to generate power within the game. On May 29th, 2023, the devs had developed the aqueducts and the canals to help power their new workshops. With all of this industry sprouting up rapidly, the devs wanted to make sure that the game still felt organic as possible. Water movement from these canals, for example, would still need to rely on gravity, which means players couldn't stick these canals any place that they pleased. They would actually have to function with the landscape they were building them on. And it only took the devs a month to go from manual player smithing to advanced smithing. Everything within production would eventually be streamlined through some kind of machine or workshop. No need for the players to stand around and manually create everything for themselves. They could let the machines run and go off and do another task while they waited for their item to complete. On July 10th, 2023, the world changed. A larger map was introduced to the players. Unfortunately, there were no more options for islands with this new map update. This new map was roughly 8 times the surface area of the test map that we used in previous tests. With this new map, it would really put Siege Camp's technology to the test. Could they really fit 1,000 players on the map on a battlefield? With a new and bigger map came the development of transportation. Breeding animals and using them for transportation will become an important role for players in this world. After that large map update, several months would go by with minor testing happening over the summer, but then all testing came to a halt for almost 2 months. Over those 2 months of development, the devs had decided once again to double the map in size, and decided they would host a major PvP test battle on December 15th, 2023. This player versus player test brought in a lot of new players to test the larger scale battles out, and as someone who has experienced these battles, I thought they went relatively smooth. I never once experienced any kind of disconnect or what I would call any major lag or stutter in the game.
Start moving forward.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Oh shit.
What? Do not reveal flank. Okay, everyone stick together right through the center.
No, wait, what the fuck? Left side. Anyway, how's you guys' day going?
Good.
Strong. You outnumber them.
Whoa. Push it!
What the fuck is break the ranks?
Something I noticed after this PvP test was that the devs have been mainly focusing on the production and the economy side of Anvil Empires for the last 6 months. Combat, though fun at first, may become very stale and repetitive over time. We still only had access to a basic sword, an axe, and a bow. More development would need to come on the combat side. Coming off a successful major pre-alpha test, the devs rested for the holidays. On January 9th, 2024, we received news that the seasons would be changing. This is one of the features the devs seemed really excited about as they teased about it in their first update back in March 2023. Seasons were now live in every test with different tiers of rainstorms and snowstorms that could occur in the game. The world was continuing to change all around us with every new pre-alpha test. With every new update, some type of new production popped up in every settlement. A new way to produce goods would be implemented and experimented with. New ways to sell goods and trade goods, and new ways to expand the economy within Anvil Empires. But outside our settlements, new dangers would be added as well. On February 13th, 2024, a new danger would come from the sky: dire ravens. We had already been dying quite often to boars and bears and simply falling in the water, but the devs decided that we needed to be afraid of something that could come from the sky as well. The devs over the last year have kept the survival factor very much alive. You need to become more established in the world and have a house and start hunting before you starve to death. With a little cooperation from others, I found it much easier to survive than trying to venture out alone.
What are you doing, Morgana? No! Here, jump in, jump in. Oh no, Morgana! Morgana! No, you. And I hit Schultz! I killed him! That wasn't the bear, that was me! Alright. Help! Come on! Peasant, no!
Oh my god, dude. Apparently they cleave too. That's actually good to know.
Okay. Ah! Oh, shit. Oh my god! Not the trees. No! Please! Please! Oh my god!
And after a year of pre-alpha development, the world finally moved into the Bronze Age. You could now upgrade every weapon or piece of equipment in the game to a bronze level. I suspect we will reach higher tiers of equipment in the coming year. With the last update that came out on May 27th, 2024, the devs have focused more on the social side of the game. Players can now build their homes away from the main settlement if they wish to be a little more secluded from the other players. Players will still need to go to the settlement for fundamental resources and work together with others, but they can still at least have their homes where they want them instead of being forced into the settlement. With the introduction of taverns and a central marketplace, players will have plenty of reasons to come to town for what they need. And these have been some of the major changes that have happened in Anvil Empires. There are a lot of other little balance changes that happen every other week for these minor tests as well. You can find all of these in the Discord channel. As I've witnessed through the pre-alpha testing over the last year, Anvil Empires will be an incredibly complex game that will require a lot of experimentation and iteration to get right. As the devs have mentioned, this game will take time to build. The devs seems like they're more focused on getting it right than having it done on a certain date, which is a rare mindset to have in the gaming world these days. Foxhole took around 6 years to develop.
Just to be very clear, this is a very early project. We're not in
Very, very early. If you're part of Foxhole early days, it's that early.
very
so,
similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to re-experience the early days of Foxhole, then Anvil's the place to do it. For new people who joined us at 1.0, the Foxhole team, like they're two separate teams, and we're full steam ahead on Foxhole. Like Foxhole is its own beast, and it's going to be going for a long time.
I'm guessing we have at least about 2 more years before Anvil Empires is ready for any kind of soft early access release or even any kind of full release. From the Stone Age to the Bronze Age, it's been quite a year. I look forward to seeing how the devs continue to develop this game. Anything you would like to see added to Anvil Empires? Let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to ask me as well. I have a little over 100 hours playing in the pre-alpha test. Remember, the next minor test is this Thursday, May 30th. Remember to join the Anvil Empires official Discord for an invite to the test as well. The link will be in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Anvil Empires content. I'll see you all out on the battlefield. Cheers.